We celebrate, we recognize, we turn around you that give voices to the masses. Then we pop to yourself there. Listen to the voice of an icon.
It's not government that gave it to us. We spent our good money.
Our first step in the vision. By 2023, we expect to see an organization that has 1,000 Nigerians in employment.
Anything you want to do, you have to have passion for.
Celebration of past and present icons on Sound Vision. Celebration of past and present icons. Lay your own legacy.
I see Africans today, what we wish just we suffer with smile. Every African man smiles. How are you?
Listen, holy, as you live for the other claim you holy soul. I hope you holy past Elijah Shah. Hope you holy past the prophet Shah. And as you live for the other form of my soul. I hope you get all the credentials Shah. I hope the people vote you Shah. I only hope as you see me so I know they bother nobody, but sometimes they misunderstand me.
Hello, welcome to your #1 TV show. Wherever you're watching, we're glad to have you on the show. It's Celebrity Icon segment on Sound Vision Entertainment. My name is Immaculate Ese. I'm your vision host, taking you through this season. I introduce to you our icon guest, a human rights activist, president of Women's Allies. She's a well-known personality because of her achievements and her constant fight for humanity. I call her my woman president. I present to you Dr. Joe ODUMAKIN. It is an honor to have a great personality who convenes efforts to light the society. Let's meet her.
Thank you. Pleasure always.
Thank you so much, Mark, for accepting our invitation. Can we meet you?
Joe ODUMAKIN, born Zaria, had my elementary school there up to primary 3 before moving down with my dad. My dad was working in northern Nigeria, so he moved down to Kwara State, and then we all moved with him. So as the first daughter who grew up in the midst of boys, I've always been like a tomboy, and then anything anyone can do when it comes to defending. I play hockey, I can climb trees, I can scale, I mean, I like long jump a lot. So coupled with the fact that I was into martial arts, so just someone who is passionate and who is interested in humanity and in a Nigeria that works.
How was growing up like?
Growing up was fun, lots of discipline, dedication. Growing up, I grew up in the midst of boys. My parents were staunch Catholics and great disciplinarian. One cannot come back home second position. Anyone out of the children that comes first position, my dad will take that person out, buy some gifts, and then my mom at times might give consolation prize. Because my parents were staunch Catholics, I love to read the Bible a lot. I can, even as a small girl, reading the Bible, in and out. I know a lot about some of the stories there. So, but I got interested in one of our missionaries, Miss Tire, about 68 years. And getting close to her, she told me how she became a missionary. And I just felt that all I could do coming to this world is to be married to Jesus and then go into the seminary. I was extremely brilliant while growing up, questioned my teachers. So I had double promotion. I got into secondary school. So when I was about leaving secondary school, I was still very, very young. So I started to fill the form. My dad traveled to the UK then, so my mom came and saw me filling form. Told my dad, we had this analog phone. So my dad said, he gave a time that I would call. So all of us sat down, waited for as soon as the phone rang, my mom picked it up, just gave it to me. So my dad said, young girl, yes, I was told that you want to go into the seminary, you don't want to procreate. I said, yes, I want to be a reverend sister. My dad said, you will disown me. So after that, he spoke with some other. I went to tell the missionary. I said, Mystere. I said, my dad said, the person that is important that should disown you, that you should get worried about, is the one in heaven. The one on earth is your caretaker. So I met our Reverend Father, Father Keddy. They told me that. So I continued. I came out in flying colors. I was to go to school based on Kwara State Polytechnic. So when my dad came back, he still felt that I was still interested in going. So my dad said, young girl, sit down. Not only will I disown you, but I will print your obituary. And when people see you, they say, oh, they pour sand on you that this spirit, this is ghost. So I started thinking. At night I cried. I said I will not go back to tell Mystere or the Reverend Father. So I just made up my mind. Early in the morning I woke up, told my dad I want to go to school. I'm no longer going to seminary. My dad was so happy. He drove me to School of Basic Studies. We went to see Dr. Acho, who was the director. And he said, this girl is very brilliant. I want her to live with you. She will live in your house. So it was hellish for me living there. The wife will scold me when anything that I do, they will find pick holes. So after 5 days, I went to my daddy's office. He was working at the military governor's office. I said, Dad, please, I want to go to the hostel. I don't want to live with them again. I won't go back to the seminary. So my dad liked me a lot. He drove me in his car, went, and he told the director, he said, this is a hardcover note that I'm buying. Let's have a clocking in and clocking out. I will take her to the hostel. So that was how I continued. And just to fast track, I was always reading in class. People call me Reverend Sister. I had a younger brother there. So anybody say, it's a Reverend Sister. So I saw Rethink Nigeria, a left-wing movement. So I went there. I saw a lot of our students calling themselves comrades. So they gave me an agenda. I said, excuse me. I said, what is it? I said, there's no opening or closing prayer on this agenda. I said, who brought this thing here? They are talking about serious national issue. This thing is talking about opening, closing prayer. Throw her out. They threw me out. After about 3 weeks, one of them saw me again and said, come, Reverend Sister, we'll put it on the agenda. So I went there. The same thing repeated itself, but this time they were so violent, they took me out. And then when I was taken out, one of my shoes that I had fell inside. They didn't allow me to take it. So since then, I just decided I will not go back, to attend their meeting. I finished my A-levels. I got admission to ABU's area. My dad was in Kwara State. Ilorin. To go by rail, my dad said, I can't leave my daughter. No, you can't. So where we were, University of Ilorin was my second choice. And after much processes, I got admission to read English education. And then in the university, I still wanted to be a minister. But after about 1 year, one very strict lecturer called my matriculation number. I just thought, what did I do? So I went to see her. She said, yes, what's your problem? I said, are you a stammerer? Why are you looking for me? I said, you mentioned my matriculation number. So she looked and said, you score very high marks. So why are you being called Reverend Sister? I said, no. I said, I want to be married to Jesus. She said, okay, I will give you 2 sets of books to read. So he gave me one. I just read the biography of Martin Luther King. One quotation, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Was what wild up the change in me. And after that, I came back and returned those books. I said, yes, It is freedom now. I've given my life to the struggle. So that was how the scene wired up that change. And manifesto night then, even some lecturers, participated, students. So manifesto night, I'd read a lot of books. I was quoting, students were hailing me. So I started off as the Secretary of Women in Nigeria. From there, we had Committee for Defense of Human Rights in 1989. When I went to serve, fortunately for me, I went to serve at 35 Battalion Ebutu Barracks in Calabar. So I served there, interacted with a lot of soldiers. I know a lot of them. So and that was how everything about me changed. So during harassment, intimidation, when they are looking for me, they go and arrest my dad, produce him. My mom will say, well, I've allowed this girl to go and be married to Jesus. I mean, look at what she's putting out through. So, I mean, that was how growing up was fun. We go for shopping. I had my other brother, GSS Ilorin, my female school. So during debate or anything, they would see me. I was always here at the forefront. So it was and a lot of discipline anyway. So we always be to remember the daughter of who you are, and so any time I just take it to heart that I must behave very, very well. And maybe later in the subsequent, I will tell you, some of my experiences in the struggle and how it was for me to survive in something tagged a male-dominated field. I told you that they were always harassing, detaining my parents. So when I came back for my master's, my dad got a flat for me, paid 120,000, 3-bedroom flat, and I was living there. All expert students. So my place, we had like 51 guys and 3 ladies. Yes. But the day they arrested all of us, the other 2 ladies cried. I told them, put all the punishment on. They didn't know anything. So the moment we spent 4 days in detention, they left us like those guys came, packed their things and left. So only myself, the numbers of the male people increased. We were about 60 and only me. So all my bed, put it on the floor, would lie down. Nothing like a rape or anything ever, crossed my mind. The only thing is that when I want to bathe, I'll lock the door, put on my clothes, come back. All of us will sleep there, we'll eat, we'll go out. When we want to paste posters, we wear black. At night, we're moving around. But then, just tell me, you're already, when they want to do anything, you want to change trousers, you want to say, I beg this one soon, but he's already a guy with us. Yes. But in the course of the struggle, one thing that also strengthened me, the moment I decided that I will give my life to the struggle, was the fact that one day we distributed leaflets. Comrade Ayo Ribe of the Nigerian Labour Congress said, we did not have phone. Sent somebody to go and meet me in school. That somebody called. He said his name is Dr. Bekona Sonkuti. He said he saw one of your flyers in Lagos. Please come the next day 4 o'clock to come and receive a call from him. This analog phone. So I was so happy. I read a lot of things about him. 4 o'clock rang. So he said, how are you? If I saw the leaflet that you signed, Ilorin, can you come to Lagos tomorrow? I said, Lagos. Okay, doctor, I'll come. He said, please, I want you to be in my office 4 o'clock. So I was just already woke up, blessed. No, I was not seeing my parents again, so I just left. But getting there, Jota we dropped, lots of fun. I was seeing so many things. But by the time I got to his office, it was after 4. And then the symbolic thing about meeting Bekona Sonkuti, I met him 4:15. He said he gave me an appointment for 4. So he was packing his books. He was already going out. I said, doctor, I came from the north. He said, that's no excuse. I have an appointment with Ganifari, chief, and it's for 4:30. I have to drive. So in the process, he called chief. Now, there's a young girl with me. Chief said I should come. So we went together to see chief. So all the things I saw about Gani, so meticulous, organized, documentation. I mean, the few minutes I spent with him, I said, this struggle that I got born again, it seemed energized me. Even Beko himself. So Beko said, well, I just wanted to see you to encourage you. You are doing a lot. Told me a lot of things. I said, he always put his wristwatch here. He looked at it, said, I have an appointment with my brother Fela. I said, which Fela? He said, Fela. I said, Fela. That I've been listening to his music. Doctor, I want to see Fela. So we drove to Fela, and that's a meeting three personalities the same day. When we're going, we went. Fela was putting on his pants, and I was running back. He said I should come. So the moment Fela saw me, he said, "Waiting be your name." I said, "Joe." He said, "That one no be name. Waiting be your native name. Go." So I told him. Fela said a lot about how he hated military. He said so many things. After about 8 minutes, Dr. Michael responded, and then he said, "Fela, we are going." You know, I told you I always read the Bible very well. I study. So when we're going, I thought rapture had taken place. The whole building started turning upside down. I found myself on the floor. I was screaming. So after, one of the wives came and said, "Now only smoke then blow for your face. Your eye don't dey turn. Drink this thing for me, I beg." So she put, the thing was very cold. So I drank, my eye opened. I saw it was Gary. It was the Gary water I drank that my eye opened. So it was so symbolic, meeting Bekora Sankuti, Yanifami, and Fela and Nicola Kokuti the same day. That one made me resolved that no matter what, my life will be totally for the struggle.
How can you describe this generation and this dispensation?
Okay, there are two basic descriptions that I will give. The first one, this generation, in our own generation, there were a lot of concern about civil responsibility. We always hold leaders accountable. I told you, military dictatorship, an aberration. Instead of us or me to be agonizing, "Oh, military rule is not good, they are killing people, what are we going to do?" Instead of agonizing, I felt that the best thing was to organize. So during our own time, civil responsibility, we organize a lot instead of agonizing. Youths, nowadays, you see a lot of them, "We're out of job. No, I can't do this." There's lots and lots of complaint, but organizing has, been missing out. Holding leaders accountable. Some of them are trying, but a lot more needs to be done. And then the second one, I will also make reference to during our own time. There was nothing like internet, social media. We want to issue a press release. You want to grant me an interview, you will write letter. You move, you go and collect the response. So lots of time wasting. But this generation, now they have lots of things at the tip of their finger. Social media, they can use that to effect a change. I want our youth listening. It's not that, you should make no mistake. I know a lot of them are really trying. But just to juxtapose what we had in those days and what we have now. So that sharp gap between our own generation and the younger ones, needs to be bridged in terms of taking more responsibility, in terms of holding people accountable, and then people should agonize less and organize more. And they should be determined, because where determination exists, failure can never dismantle the flag of success.
Few words: determination, passion, and if you are talented, work for it. Take it. Whatever it takes, go for it, and you will get to the step 7. How do you venture into human rights activism?
Yes, part of some of the stories I've told before, and the thing is, it was just inspiration. If one is inspired, that person will be wired up for a change. I remember the torturous process. I can't tell people the nights I will sob. "Oh, my parents don't like me. Oh, I said I want to go to the seminar. I want to be a reverend sister. Now my parents want to disown me. My mom will take me, she will scold me." I never thought about it that one day I will start fighting for people's rights and become an activist. But one of the things I want to encourage our users, reading culture is very, very good. And how did I even get to that? When one studies, one should ensure that, one is always abreast with development. One is well read to the extent that at the tip of one's finger, one will be getting information. It was through the test that was administered by one of our lecturers that my matriculation number was called, and I went. Books were given to me to read. I mentioned one quotation, but let me mention like 3 others or so that during those things that helped in wiring that change for me. Franz Fanon says that every onlooker is either a coward or a traitor. So when we continue to look, and that was one of the things that helped me then, that military dictatorship, let them, I just wanted, to be married, to Jesus. So people must always act. And then the worthiness of life is deep rooted in the service of mankind. If one dies in the process, that person becomes a martyr. So whatever anyone believes in, let that person hold on tenaciously to such. And that helped me in becoming who I am today. Karl Marx, I read a lot of books on Karl Marx on learning. He said, philosophers have interpreted the world. The problem is to change it. We can do lots and lots of interpretation, but that change is what we should focus on. And out of the numerous one, the last one says that Amilcar Cabral said, he's not interested in what people have in their heads, but how it translates positively in the lives of our people. So we can have all the talents, we can keep them there. If we cannot translate all those things positively in the lives of our people, it makes no sense of whatever. So how I transformed from being that quiet girl, that girl that, I just want to be married, to Jesus, I want to become a reverend sister, I want to become how I got transformed through those books, reading those books, and then unconsciously getting a lot of role model. I mean, one of my Rosa Parks, how was she told to get up in the bus and she refused? When I read all those things, it helped me. And then coming to our climb, we have lots and lots of examples. Is it books that Wole Soyinka has written? Is it books that a lot of books that I've read? So that was what transformed me from what I was then to becoming an activist, a change agent. And in doing that, I can never stay at the background. I want to be at the forefront. Anything, in fact, right from the time I gave my life to the struggle, I called one of my friends, lawyer, prepared a will. Then I had a mattress, I had some books. I said, if anything happens to me in the process, and whatever I do, I don't think about my life. That one does not count. But I firmly believe in God Almighty, that God, my Creator, will continue to guide me. And then after that, I go. And that is why I'm always where the battle is the fiercest, where the battle is the hottest. Military dictatorship, for you to go and paste posters in the barracks, IBB go ahead of state with his face crossed, and I tell you that I'll go and paste mine at the barracks. Please, you people following me, don't go close, so that if I'm shot dead, you can tell them that, at this barracks, that was where she was shot. So the conviction and the belief, I'll go to police headquarters and paste. I'll go and paste posters. And when I'm caught, when they beat me seriously, mercilessly, beat me, chain me on that chair and everything, I'll continue to look. It got to a time where the sample of my blood was taken and he said I was on drugs. But what is my own drug? The books I've read, the people I've seen. In fact, I was so fearless. I didn't fear even death. So when Muslims, they just believe that there must be something, that is pushing this person. But I told them, if I refuse to cooperate, if I'm in detention, I say, what do you want? You want something to drink? You want something to sleep? Apart from water, I've never taken anything. But all those injustices, all those things I believe in are the ones that are always wired up changing me. So that was what transformed me, the books, and after that, getting to see the reality of symbols of struggle in our own climb. And I didn't read this book to say, I'll become Martin Luther King. I'll become Franz Fanon. I'll become Malcolm X. But just reading everything, it was part of me. And it wasn't that I just wanted to become anybody. So that was what transformed me to I am today. And anywhere I see injustice, I will not sleep. It gets me so angry. And my best times are when I'm leading rally, when I'm marching, or when I'm confronting injustice. So, all those things have helped to energize me and making me who I am today.
I don't really care what anybody and about me. I just try to keep my head up. There's no need for compromising. There's no time, so no delay. Just be maintaining it up, motivating, elevating, fortified and visualizing. Every day providing for my peeps and family. But still they want to run me down, Sarah. Them only want to see me frown, nah. Them only want to see me hanging. All the hypocrites and Pharisees, yaga down. Them only want to pull you down, yeah. Only want to see you frown, yeah. But God, your love is so amazing. So keep on elevating. I see never God declare you holy soul. I hope you holy past Elijah. Hope you holy past the prophet Shah. And I see never God the form of my soul. I hope you get all the credentials, Shah. I hope the people vote you, Shah. I only hope as you get opinion, make you know say other people get opinion too.